Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Logan Joseph, and I am the founder, creator, visionary, and all of that jazz behind Radiant Light Candle Co., based out of Westchester, New York. I am a friend and mentee of Jasmine. I took the first master class through Black Sunflower, and I have been on the journey with Black Sunflower ever since. I am taking over the Black Sunflower Candle Masterclass as of April and will be teaching both levels of the masterclass, the $99 level and then the $749, which is the business success level. And we will talk about that more later. But today we are here to talk about how your story can help you sell more candles with your brand, because that is how I have built an entire business. It is how I won Best of in the county that I'm in. It is how I have been able to do around 4,000 sales in just over 3 years. And it's really why I have a customer base that continues to come back. So I think I have tapped into a bit of a trade secret here that I am happy to share. And I think one thing with Black Sunflower is we don't gatekeep around here. Hi, Dominique. I'm so excited that there's going to be some master Black Sunflower people coming in. Dominique is our brand, brains, and beauty. If you need anything brand-wise, Dominique's the gal for it. All of the Black Sunflower Masterclass Candle Kids, if you have not done your brand sheets yet, you're going to be getting an email from me, because to have free access to this and not be using it, girl. Hi, Latoya. So I'm going to give it like a couple of seconds to get in, and then we're going to get kicking with this, but we'll just kind of do this part while we wait. And it's storytelling and authenticity, how your personal candle journey can sell your candles. And to me, being authentic in my brand is what has made me money. Let's be very honest here. We are all doing this to make money. There's the people that we are going to meet in this business, and especially if you do vendor markets and things like that, that are like, I do this for the art, I do this for the craft, I love making homemade jam. Girl, that is lovely, cute, and wonderful, and I hope you love living on your farm making jam. I am doing this to make money. I love what I do. I'm great at what I do, but I'm doing it to make money. And part of why I'm really great at making money is because I'm authentic in what I do, how I do it, and telling the story behind it. And if you guys can tap into that and the authenticity of your story and put even just 30% of it in to your brand, you will see a return on investment. I will tell you, it is not the easiest thing to do. It is, for everyone, it is not easy to get vulnerable and get open and allow people into your world. For some people, creating a brand is a way to have a different side of them, that they don't have to talk about their world. I understand that, because I was a New York City nightlife performer. I was a drag queen for 15 years. And that was an entirely different persona that no one had to understand this person. So I understand creating different worlds, but letting people in is where the money comes in. So, who I am Logan Joseph of Radiant Light Candle Co. I'm a candle company owner for just about 4 years now. I have gone through 3 holiday seasons. I made the brilliant decision to start my candle company during the holiday season. So I started testing in August and I launched in September my essentials collection, and then I launched a full fall and holiday line. So take that advice. Don't do that. Start at a normal time of year, because that was the worst thing I ever did in my life. I'm a former full-time nightlife performer. And what happened was I got sober and married, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. And I took the base of people in New York City and online. I have on all platforms about 25,000 people that I reach. And I found a way to let them follow my journey, and they followed me into candle making. So I took the people that loved me for nightlife performing and then COVID and watching me do drag in my living room, and I found a way to pull them into buying candles and loving candles. These people that loved me for being a loudmouth drag queen now love me because I make candles that tie into the life that I lived in drag. I am an LGBTQIA plus and recovery community advocate, especially in these times. And I just put those two. I am an advocate for all communities that are under attack. We'll put it that way. And that plays a huge part in my brand. I am in a very whitewashed community, and I stand very loud and proud, and I have candles that aren't for everyone. And the labels are jarring and shocking, and they turn people away, but they also cultivate a crowd that comes back over and over and over again. I partner with Gay Pride Apparel, which is a first generation Mexican owned company with 2 guys that are from Arizona that built this apparel line. And I started partnering with them last Pride, and I'm on my 2nd collaboration with them. And I have found a way that we work together. We have now figured out a way that we split profit. And with the recovery community, I also own a nonprofit, which is called Here Queer Sober. And I now am going to be launching a candle where proceeds from that candle get donated to this nonprofit to help with the queer sober community. So again, tying my story of recovering from drugs and alcohol into my candle brand, which ties into all of it. I'm also a husband, a son, a friend, and a father. And all of those things play into the names of my candles. So, who are you? That is the first thing that I think you have to ask yourself. And, you know, if you want to type in the comments who you are, I can see a few names: Dominique, Latoya, Pam, Cosmic Sunflower. Like, if you just want to say, I am what you do for a living, if you are prominent in your church community, if you are like, these things will help give me an idea of where you stand out, because there are these communities that you can branch into. And like, I knew I could stand out in the queer community in New York City. I knew that I could stand out in the queer community up where I live, because I'm one of few, and I knew I could make an impression up here. I knew that I could stand out online because I have a large social media following. So there, you have to find out where you are able to make an imprint. I am a nurse who is burned out from the profession, who suffers with severe anxiety, depression, and being crafty is therapeutic. So right there, you're a nurse. That's all you had to say. I mean, God bless you, first of all, for what you do. I don't think that anyone in the medical field gets enough praise. I had 2 parents that sadly have passed, but I dealt with medical professionals for 13 years between the 2 of them. And thank you for all you do, because without nurses and doctors that do what they do, we would not have a lot of things and a lot of care for people we care about. So thank you very much. So even with just like nursing, there's an entire community there that you can tap into. You could make candles that are fundraisers for, like, up here where I live, there's Northwell Health, there's Montefiore. So like you could try and get into your gift shop and say, hey, I'm going to sell my candle for $30 and I'll give $5 back to the hospital. You could, there's ways that like you could just immediately start using being a nurse and like in the hospital industry to start branching out. You could make candles that have nursing puns as names, or, you know, body parts. Like there are ways to think about it that way. Dominique is a creative, a change maker, and a helper, and all of that she is. And if you are not in the collective, I suggest going and signing up now. It is $19.99 a month after your first 14 days free. And girl, get in. You're just an ordinary chick who loves candles. Well, look, there's nothing wrong with being an ordinary chick, but I think that every single person has something special and unique about them. If you're making candles, you're already a creative person. So there's got to be something there that like maybe you haven't tapped into yet, but like maybe as I go on and talk about this a little bit more, you'll kind of understand just how easy it can be. And you'll see like the power of storytelling. And like when you see the brands that do it and how they do it, it might make you be like, oh, this has been in my face the whole time. And I went backwards. Wonderful. So for small and startup businesses, storytelling is a powerful way to stand out, build trust, and create emotional connections with customers. A compelling brand story makes products more than just items. It gives them meaning, fosters loyalty, and turns first-time buyers into lifelong supporters. I'm a former veteran, medical technician, current facilities manager in an accounting firm, and researching options for a t-shirt and candle business. Well, you are busy, is what you are, Michelle. First of all, thank you for your service to this country. Thank you. Medical technician. I mean, there's a lot of medical technicians here. And facilities manager in an accounting firm. I do nonprofit. I do accounts payable for nonprofit when I'm not doing my candle business. So I understand a little bit about accounting, and I understand having a real like full-time job and then doing the creative stuff on the side. And I think there's something beautiful about having this like stable job and then having your creative job underneath it, because you don't feel like you're reliant upon it, but there's always the ability for it to grow into something that is full-time reliable. With the things like the former veteran, there's so many places for this to branch into. You know things and like, you know areas and groups of people that most of us will never be able to branch into just because we have not lived that life or walked that walk. And I would never personally try and market my candles specifically to veterans because I haven't walked that walk. But you could do that because you have lived that life, walked that walk. And I think you could do fundraising where you donate back to veteran organizations, where you partner with other small businesses that are veteran founded and you make boxes, like if they do t-shirts and you add a candle and you guys partner together and then ship those out, there's ways, like there's things to do about that. And in that, you each put a card that tells your story. Like, and it's like a Made with Love veteran box. These are just like very quickly off the top of my head where my brain goes. But there's so many places, and like understand that storytelling doesn't have to be so black and white. When I talk about storytelling in my brand, it really comes down to the labels. My labels tell my stories, and it's not visual, it's the names. As I said, when I was talking about Foxy Brown registered nurses comment, being a nurse, both of my parents have passed away. And when I started my company, I knew that I wanted to honor my mother, and I knew I wanted to do something lasting. And to me, I wanted to do a candle. And I'd never made a candle, girl. I loved candles. I was sick of buying TJ Maxx mess and spending far too much on quality candles. So I ordered a bunch of sample scents and I smelled this one and I was like, my God, this smells like Mary, which is my mom's name. So the first candle I ever named was Mary. And then I had my second one, which is Leonora. My mother-in-law is Lenore. And then I have Dressed Up, which is in reference to the fact that I did drag for 15 years, dressing up. I have Beach House because I lived on Fire Island, which is a vacation island, where I live, and in the community, the communities I'm involved in, everyone knows me from. So most of my, I hate to say this, fan base from around here knows me from Fire Island. So they understood the Beach House tie-in, and it's one of my number one sellers. Then I have Saguaro Blossom. Saguaro is the state flower where I'm from in Arizona. So that tied into where I'm from. And then I just threw in nostalgia because it ties into my childhood. And I think that can tie into everyone's childhood. And the scent is Fruit Loops. And then everyone is able to kind of think back in time. So that was the way, very quickly, that I told my story. In when people look at my 7 essential candles, they're able to tell my story in 30 seconds scanning my candles. But they always ask questions. Who's Mary? Why Beach House? What's Saguaro Blossom? And then you're having this immediate conversation. And in that, like in this paragraph, it says, it's more than an item. It gives them meaning, and it turns first-time buyers into lifelong supporters. The amount of people that have become lifelong supporters of my candles because of Mary is, I can't tell you how many people are return buyers of that candle because the conversations that have sparked because of the story of my mother. So that's the way that I tell my story through the first 7 candles that I made. So why do people connect with stories, not just products? Because people, at the end of the day, are looking for connection. People love lovely things. We all love a beautiful thing. We love a designer thing. We love something that's beautiful on the eye, that's visually appealing, that smells great. But at the end of the day, especially now when everything is upside down and sideways and we don't know where we're going to find a moment of peace, we like connection. And we like to find connection. And when we can find a connection with a stranger, that's even better, because it's not necessarily a safe spot that is guaranteed. So people love to feel safe they love to feel heard, and they love to feel connected. So in those moments where I'm sharing conversation with people, and I'm sharing conversation about my mother passing, or my cowboy candle, which is about my father. My father lived with me and my husband when he was dying of cancer, and we created Cowboy together. I have a cowboy hat tattoo on my finger. My father wanted it on the label. It's the only wood wick candle I have. And we created this candle together. And because of the fact that it is my only wood wick candle, and that is the story that goes with it, when people talk about that candle, 9 times out of 10, they buy it because of the story, because there was a connection to that candle, because it's almost like they're watching a mini movie or hearing a mini podcast that buys them into this candle. It's like a little commercial for the candle. It's not just smelling it in Home Goods or Target. Now, what are some brands that use storytelling? Can anyone in the comments think of a brand off the top of their head that uses storytelling in their marketing? And Latoya, I see your comment. You're a person who loves to do innovations, and you're a big thinker. Big thinking is going to get you everywhere. There is no such thing as too much thinking around here. Nike, Dominique. That is the first one. Nike, just do it. The way they speak athlete stories, their entire branding is athlete stories. And it's brilliant. Brilliant. Their current campaign is, I'm in New York City once a week because I'm remote most of the time, but we have to go to the office once a week. There are billboards everywhere. You can't walk down the street without seeing it. And I'm like, brilliant. It's just brilliant. And there's some other ones. Dove, the Real Beauty campaign, where they use real women and not models. I used to think this was so cheesy because there was a period of time where every beauty brand was doing it. But Dove sticks with it. And I think when women see themselves portrayed, or anyone sees themselves portrayed, they feel spoken to. And that's important. I think as I can speak, I'm not going to speak for women because I'm not a woman, but I will speak as a gay man. When I see a gay man portrayed somewhere, I feel spoken to. I feel seen. I feel represented. So when you see Hefty and Gorilla Glue, now wait a minute, I'm going to have to go and do some research when this is done. I'm totally going to write this down. Hefty and Gorilla Glue. When you see women that aren't perfect size models with plastic surgery faces being shown on television using beauty products, it speaks to you because it's real. Warby Parker, buy a pair, give a pair, donate to a person in need. Perfect. Warby Parker is showing you, you buy a pair of glasses, we're going to give a pair to someone in need. And this person, we're going to tell you their story in our campaign. Wonderful branding. Smart, easy, and grabs them. It's the same thing that Bombas socks do. Buy a pair, we'll give a pair to a homeless person. Ben & Jerry's, story through activism with the names of their flavors. I can keep going. Airbnb, the stories that they tell through their hosts and their travelers. Like, there's so many. And now, I have a feeling now when you watch TV, you're going to see advertisements, or when you're walking down the street or flipping through magazines or a YouTube ad comes up, you're going to see things a little bit differently because you're going to see the storytelling in these brands. You're not going to just see the advertisement. because it is a very, very sneaky way that some of them do it, but you will see how they get you to pay attention. Now, here's the real good question. Can anyone think of any candle brands that use storytelling? And I really thought of 3 off the top of my head when I was doing this. And I also want to say this, like, if we are future candle makers, if you're like in here today, and I know that this is going to get seen after the fact and all of that excitement, if you are here today and you are wanting to become a candle maker, just put like a heart in the comments. Let's see the hearts coming in. Like, I kind of want to just gauge like where we're at and see who wants to become a candle maker and all that excitement, because it will kind of gauge who I'm speaking to today. Dominique's sitting over there like, I'm not going to give up. You're not that late. We're only 5 slides in. Your air freshener store. Hi. So we got T, Darnisha, and Latoya. All are candle makers. They want to start creating their candle. Diptyque and Jo Malone, girl, that the exact 2 brands that got me making candles because I was sick of spending my cointadas on candles that I can make. Michelle. So I, first and foremost, before we go any farther, I want to say to all of you that are candle makers, if you are here and you are not a part of the collective, I strongly suggest that you do become a part of the business collective, the Black Sunflower Collective. It is beyond candles. We have created such a community over there that it is everyone. Like, Dominique's in here today. I've been around creatives my entire life. Dominique is a branding goddess. And I don't use those words lightly, especially goddess, because girl, so I'm telling you all, if you're not a part of the Black Sunflower Collective, this is the time to get in. You get 14 days for free. You can cancel and get out if you're not impressed. And then it's $19.99 a month. So I would suggest, I will remember to put the link in the chat, but I'm also going to put this little link that I'm putting in right now. I'm going to put this link right there, and I'm going to put it on the screen just so everyone can kind of see it and then know it's in the chat. This little chat link right there is to the Black Sunflower Candle Making 101. I will be taking this class over starting in April. I will also be taking over the business success, and Jasmine is still going to pop into, especially to the business success classes. 101 is really going to be, I'm taking Jasmine's stuff, adding in some of my own, but you will be learning from both of us. You're getting Jasmine's entire world that I learned from, and then I'm adding in my 4 years of business, candle making, lessons learned, and all of that. Currently, this is $99 to get in. After the end of April, it is going up to $299. So we were supposed to be done with the $99. I said I want it to run through the rest of March and April, and then that's it. So you guys have March and then April, and then $299. I would love to teach you guys. I would love to continue to build this community, and let's continue with this. I will probably talk about it one more time. I don't want to feel salesy. That's not what we're here for, but I do want to let you know we are building such an incredible thing over there. It would be dumb of me not to try and get you all to come kiki and carry on with us. So, candle brands. Homesick. Hello. Homesick candles. Every single state has a candle. Every single state. Every single state has a candle. Oh, I moved to college and I'm homesick. And your parents send you a damn candle. Brilliant. 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 Nurses, doctors, listen to me. Make candles for what people come into the ER for. Tonsillitis. Got my tonsils out? Here's a candle. Like, what are we doing? Like, boy smells. It's a little bit towards the gay community, but if you know, you know. Harlem Candle Company. It's very much towards, like, the Boy Smells is towards the gay community. The Harlem Candle Co. is towards the BIPOC community. And come on, like, let's go. These are like community-based candle companies, and they work. Like, Homesick for everyone. Boy Smells, really based towards one community. Harlem Candle Co., really based towards another community. Everyone can buy them. Everyone will enjoy them. But they're telling stories to communities. They're niche candles that communities understand and love. It's really brilliant. Like, this is what we're doing. So these were just 3 ones that came up right off the top of my head. To all of you that sent a little heart, I want you to, even if you don't take the course, which I'm just going to say this, you'll be sorry if you do. You will be sorry if you don't, because we have a good old time. We talk a lot of shit, and we carry on. And that's all I'm going to say. We carry on. We talk a lot of crap about these YouTube candle makers that think they got it all figured out when they don't. And we kind of really get you together with some of these things that they tell you you got to do that you don't. We'll just keep going. Do we have any questions thus far about the power of storytelling in your brand? Any questions at all? Give it a second. I know we might be a little delayed. I know we've covered quite a bit thus far. And if not, we will just keep on keeping on, girl. I also, if you do join the class, you will find out that I say girl a lot. And I do cuss a lot. I'm trying not to on YouTube because God knows I'll pull this video in a second. But thank you, Foxy Brown. And if you join the class, I would like you to know I will be calling you Foxy Brown because I love it. And just so everyone knows, this is not a personality that is put on. This is who I am. And this is it toned down just a little bit. Crafting your brand story. So this is kind of 3 quick little things. I mean, obviously we could really dive into it, but this is a 1-hour thing. I wanted to kind of just like boop, 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 hit you with it, and then this will kind of be like more so in my classes and all of that excitement. But your why. What made you start? And it is my dead mom made me start candle making. That's it. My dead mom, the fact that I got sober and was no longer performing in nightlife, and I needed to make income because I made a lot of money doing drag. Made a lot of fucking money. And when I stopped performing, I had none of that money coming in. So I needed money. I needed that extra money. So you know what I needed to do? Find something to do to make money. And I love business. I love creating. I'm an artist. And I wanted to own my own business, and I wanted to create something with my hands. Own my own business, create something with my own hands, honor my mother. So that led to making my candle company. Going backwards. Was it your passion? Was it a personal experience like losing your mom? Did you overcome something? Did you get sober from drugs and alcohol? Was there a problem that you were looking to solve? See, here's a great thing. And like, this is where I'm going to call bullshit on a lot of things that we're told. A lot of times when you start a business, you are told, what is the problem you're solving? Girl, not every business is solving a problem. I'm sorry, but like every candle company is not solving world peace. And like, we're not curing cancer with our candle companies. Like, let's be honest. We are making candles because we love them and we're fucking good at it and we want to do it. But behind that answer, there is probably some more personal reasons. In here, I believe it was Foxy said, I am a nurse who's burnt out from the profession, who suffers from severe anxiety and depression. And being crafty is therapeutic. That is the why. That, right there, that is the why. Burnt out, depression, anxiety, and it's therapeutic. That's the why. That is your brand story. Because your profession of being a nurse, saving people, helping people, being someone's lifeline, puts you into anxiety and depression, and crafting and making something is the release. And you're able to put that into something that people are able to take with them. You're able to take others' traumas and make something and let them take that with them. You're able to make something beautiful out of others' traumas and they're able to take that with them. That's the circle of life. Oof, Lord. Lord, got me going. Hi, Lollies. Essence Candles, Trina Johnson. Hi. Love to see people still coming in. You wanted to bring humor and creativity into your brand. Great. Let me tell you something. There's nothing I love more than humor and creativity. I don't know if you can tell through me. I'm a wise ass. I wish I had some of my candles in here. I don't even know if I can pull it up like on my phone, if you'll even be able to see. But like, I just did a queer protest collection and like my labels are pretty out there and they're, you know, one of them says, it says, an executive order doesn't mean anything to me and my community, you stupid orange fuck. So, you know, there's some humor for my community. And the gay community loves it. They laugh. And a little bit of money goes back to gay charities. In the winter time, in the fall, I always dedicate a candle to my sister-in-law. I've had Witch Please and Basic Witch. I love to play around with names. Last holiday, I had Fucking I'm Buying a Cabin because it was right after the election and I wanted to just kill myself and move to a cabin in the woods with no electricity. You're attending a healing paint party, popped on to say hi. I'll watch the replay. Enjoy the painting party. And thank you for saying blessings. Blessings to you. My God. God knows I need blessings. The way I sit up here talking about the current administration, which we're not doing because this could be for everyone. Girl, my why. That's what keeps me going currently. My journey. What have your struggles been? What have your wins been, your losses, and your lessons along the way? This is kind of for me, and I can only be telling you my brand story here, which is kind of hopefully so you understand. I talk about losing my parents. I talk about my sobriety. I have a candle called Chloe, which is my daughter, which is a win. My life lessons, like the sobriety. Like there's so many things that as I start talking to people at vendor events, it all starts to be my story, which is told through the names of my candles. So that way, it's in that way that I'm able to have genuine connection and conversation with people. And that is how I'm always finding new clients, especially at vendor markets. I can always tell within 5 seconds at a vendor market who I'm going to have a connection with and who's going to purchase a candle, because you just know when someone picks a candle up and has a genuine interest in why your candle is named something, that they want to have that conversation. If someone's like, then what's the point? Like, they're not here for it. But if someone's like, Mary, who's Mary? Oh, my sister's Mary, your mom's Mary, and now the conversation's rolling. Your mission and your values. What is your mission and what are your values? How loud are you willing to be currently? And that's a very honest question that we have to ask, especially currently. Been working 16 hours a day since 2020. Was recently giving an autoimmune health diagnosis. My therapist encouraged me to look for creative outlets. Here I am, still looking, want to express myself and heal. Well, 2 things. I'm not a doctor, but I've been around my people with autoimmune diseases, and I will say perspective and your outlook and attitude are everything. And I will say, as someone who has been creative since as long as I can remember, in the darkest times of my life, creativity has brought me the most light, which is how Radiant Light became the name of my brand. When I got sober, I was in a pretty dark place. My father was dying. My relationship was ending because I had blown my whole life up. And I had to remember that there is always a light, even in the darkest times. And we all have a radiant light that lives inside of us. So that's how my candle company became Radiant Light. So if I can just tell you one thing, just start crafting. Rather that is with candles or scrapbooking or something, but you're here. You obviously want to do this. So again, I'm going to just say, I'm going to put the link in the chat again. Why don't you join the candle class? It is $99. It gets you the deluxe candle kit from Sierra Candles. All you have to do is pay the shipping. It comes to you. We create a candle together on April 5th. It could be your first step into it. And then think about that. On April 5th, we're making candles together. It's $99. There you are. You're spending some time doing things for you. So for everyone, girl, everyone in DC needs a candle. Tell them to go to www.radiantlightcandleco.com/queer protest. I have some candles politically charged for everyone. Girl, you need to get out of DC. Um, no, but I suggest absolutely starting to get creative. We are in, like, this leads to level 3.3, where it says, how loud are you willing to be currently? I had to really decide this year after the election, and this is where how loud are we going to be? I had to decide this is the year where I'm going to fully step into being a gay business owner. I mean, it's not easy to hide being gay, but in my brand, I've never put my gay candles out. I never put my indicted, convicted, it's giving pride candles out to be bought. This year, they're out. All of my fuck Donald J. Trump candles, they're out. And people that walk by and give me the side eye, you're not my client. And the people that come up and are like, God bless you for doing this, you are my client. You are my customer. And we are here. And I know that I'm a safe place for you. You know that you're a safe place for me. And we're having that conversation. So understanding your values and not being afraid to step into them, especially now. I can't imagine what it was like for Black creators during Black Lives Matter. I know we were in lockdown, and in New York City, I know that I was raising money online, doing drag shows, and driving down with food kits for the protesters, and just seeing what was going on, like doing what I could do. But like, there's so many times that communities, seeing people have to step into their truth. So for the $99, you can come to the 101 class over and over when I do the 101 class. So if you sign up to that, every month, I do a 101 class, and you can come to the 101 over and over. Then there's another level, which I will email everyone about, and that is going to have the business success, which is wholesaling, vendor markets, holiday prep, holiday lines, all of that. We're going to do a whole thing with Sierra Candles on how to make holiday candles with Jazz's marbling techniques. So there is a much bigger selection. You can use the $99 towards the purchase of that, so it will get taken off the price. But really what I want to say to everyone is just start here. Notice I'm not trying to talk about this bigger class. Start here. Start at the $99. Get your foot wet. To pay $99 to get an entire candle kit, and all you're doing is paying for the shipping to get it, and then you're going to get a 2-hour like a 2-hour class like this, where you can ask questions, where we can, like, it says it's a 2-hour class. I'm not rushing through it. If it takes 2.5 hours, if it takes 3, we're going to just have us a good old time and make some candles, answer the questions. Like, that's what we're going to do. So I'm telling you, get the $99 class. Sharing a story in a way that sells. This is my candle. This is the very first one I did. So my label has gotten a little bit elevated since then. Dominique, don't look at it. No longer is that disgusting font at the top. Now it's my logo. But I will say, my font for Mary has always stayed the same. I wanted to have a very bold font that just is the name. So I don't put a lot into my Essential Collection logos. It is kind of just focused on the name so people see it and can ask about it. So this is about my mother. People see the name, they say, who's Mary? We have the conversation about who my mom is. Here is how and where to share your story, because this can get very, very hairy very quickly. Your website about page, social media, email marketing, product descriptions, and pop-ups. Your website about page is a great place. I currently don't have an about page on my website. I go back and forth if people really go to it. I also think that people that go to my website personally already know me. Social media, fantastic place to share your story. And I have a challenge for you at the end of this video. Email marketing. Every now and then, I'm not a big email marketing person, but I will take one candle and just blast it and share like about Mary with a story behind Mary. Your product descriptions on your website. I always talk about the love of the person, or Chloe, why my candle is named after, why it's named Chloe for my daughter, cowboy for my father. Like there's always, I talk about the personalization of the candle name. And pop-ups, being able to have, again, a one-on-one conversation with people is the best way to share your story. Again, we are in a time where people want to feel connection. I do not think we have been in this place where people feel like this since COVID. And people are dying for a connection. And it's a great time to do it, is at a vendor market pop-up scenario. Common mistakes to avoid. Balancing vulnerability and professionalism, oversharing, making it all about you instead of connecting with your customer. Vulnerability and professionalism, it's a fine line. Sometimes there's no script. Sometimes you're going to overstep and you're going to feel people be like, ooh, like I talk about sobriety and drugs and alcohol and things like that. Like I can kind of gauge when it's okay to go where. It's a learned trait. You will figure that out as you talk to people about things in your life. Like I'm just going to use Foxy Brown as a example to talk about, being a nurse and having depression and anxiety. Like it's not something that everyone can relate to, but that is something that people will understand because we all have seen what nurses and doctors have gone through. So there is such vulnerability in sharing that people will connect. Oversharing. When I talk about my mom dying, I'm not like, my mom had a brain-eating disease that slowed her body down for 8 years and it just killed her. We don't do that. My mom passed away, my dad passed away. I made these candles to celebrate them and keep their memory going. There's a big difference in the two. See it? See it? My dad had stage 4 lung cancer and just one day decided to die in my living room. Oh my God. Can you imagine saying that to someone at a vendor event? I would die. Making it all about yourself. You have to learn, like this is big, people. See the signs when people are wanting to talk. Know when to shut up. Know when people want to talk. Know when it's time to like pump the brakes. Took me a long time to learn that lesson because I'm a performer. I like it to be all about me. Are there any questions? Because we are coming to the end. If there are any questions, now is the time that I would love to answer them. No? I'm sorry, did my conversation about my dying parents scare anyone away? Jeez. See, oversharing. See, this is the fun we have in the candle class. I laugh like that and talk like that most of the time. I don't keep it as professional as I have here. Well, then this is my challenge to all of you. Post a part of your story and how it ties into your brand in the next week somehow on your social media. See how your followers connect and react. Wow. See how your follows. So what a wonderful job I did proofreading this last night at midnight. See how your followers connect. I'm again going to use Foxy Brown as an example. I think it would be great. A question. When shipping that candle off, do you place a note inside stating what Mary represents? No, not all. No. I think it's on my website. It's in the description. So like if people haven't gotten that, then I don't. It's a great idea. I've never thought about it, but think about this. That's another cost if you're printing it. If you're handwriting it, hopefully you're busy enough that you don't have to. If you want to do something like that, you're more like able to, fantastic. I don't because it's at my website. It's on my description. So I don't take the time to do that. No. I handle based off my state too. I feel like a copycat unintentionally, of course. Should I continue with my candle? Of course you should. Stop it. Stop it. Yes. Girl, do you know how many of us have candles that are the same? This is what I'm going to say. We all have candles that are like, it's okay. Your candle is your candle. It is yours. It is different than whoever. The girl down the street could have a candle based off the same state. It's different. Your brand is what should set it apart. So what you got to do is make sure you know your brand. Don't ever doubt yourself. That's a big thing. Latoya, I thought I answered it when shipping the candle off. Yeah, no, I don't place a note because the website description has the story of my mom. So people should read it and know that already. No. I don't have time. It just takes up time. And if you print it, if you have it printed, it costs money. We're here to save money, not spend it. But again, like I'm going to say for this challenge, like Foxy Brown could post a story on Instagram. It could just be 30 seconds saying, being vulnerable, saying, I'm burnt out. I want to start a candle brand. Would my friends and family support me in this? And see what the response. I promise you will see a positive response. I'm again going to post this link in the description for the end of this video. We have about a minute and a half left. Latoya, these are things that you could do. I mean, there are many candle brands that do those small touches. I don't have time. And a lot of the time I do launches that are built up, and then we launch, and I get such a big influx of orders that I don't have time to do handwritten notes like that. I do write on every single order a note, but I could not like write the story of why the candle's named after my mom. But that information is available on my socials. It's available on the website. It's talked about in videos. Like the information's there. So a lot of the time I just assume that people know. It's the first thing in the description on my website when you click on Mary. So it's before the notes even. It says this is a dedication to my mom. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here today. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I hope that you got something out of this. what are my thoughts on drop down instead of constant restocking? My thoughts are, explain what drop down is. Because I restock just because I don't keep a lot of, oh girl, we've gone over the hour. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm only going to stay on for like another minute. On drops instead of constant restocking. So I have about 8 fragrances I carry year round. And then I do maybe 1 or 2 drops throughout quarter 2 and 3. And then I do a really big fall and a really big holiday. This year, what I have is my 8 that I carry all year. And then I'm doing the Queer Protest was my first drop. I'm doing Queer Protest Part 2, Queer Protest Part 3. So in that, there's 9 new candles. It's 9 candles. The first drop is one scent. The second drop is a second scent. The third drop is a third scent. It's 3 different vessels, and all the labels are different. So it's basically 3 different collections. But together, it's one cohesive collection, story, and branded moment of anger and protest. You guys, thank you. I really hope to get to know some of you over in the Black Sunflower Business Collective. I promise you a good time in the candle course, and I promise you, Dominique, will get your brand together. And if you have any questions, you can find me over there and email me in the collective, and I will be happy to answer any questions. Our first class for the Candle Making 101 is April 5th. April 5th is our first Candle Making 101 where you will learn the basics. So I would sign up sooner than later. I would click the link, save it if you need to. Sign up sooner than later and order your kit from Sierras. They ship very quickly. If you order on a Monday, you should have it within the week. Get your kit. We'll make candles together, de-stress, pour a glass of wine for you. I will have iced coffee and seltzer, and we'll have us a good old time. K-Dog, I love you too. I'm going to go play with my daughter and enjoy life. And I hope you all have a beautiful weekend.